Boy, am I glad to see you guys.
Well, we're glad to see you too. Can I get you to put the gun down?
You wish. I got a plan.
What's the plan?
My plan, well, if you got a minute.
I have a minute.
Okay.
Tim.
When I went to Afghanistan, things were bad. And I think they couldn't get any worse. So then they sent me to Iraq. And I've lost my family, I've lost my job, I've lost my house, I've lost my marriage. It can't get any worse. And,
It can. And I'm gonna tell you, if you use that gun, it can get worse. But what we don't want you to do is to use the gun. Can I ask you to put the gun down so we can just talk?
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
My religious beliefs tell me that if I kill myself, I'm going straight to hell. But if you shoot me, that's what I have in mind. So my question to you is, if I point this gun at you,
Well, let's talk about that belief, okay?
all right,
If you force me to shoot you, you still going to hell.
now I don't believe that. You do.
But that, if you read the same Bible, you cannot put me in a position to do harm to you because your motive and the intent of your heart is the same.
But
So
if
you got to remember, it's the motive and intent of your heart. So please, let's just talk about this. Don't force me to do something that I don't want to do.
well, I can't do it, and this is the end of the road.
It's not the end of the road. There are a lot of ways that we can help. We just need to know what the problem is, and we can probably come up with that
You
solution.
can't get my wife back, you can't get my job back. I bet the VA's tried to help. This is, enough is enough. And this is how I see things going. And honestly, I appreciate your attention, but this is,
It's not the end, I promise. If you put the gun down, I promise you it's not the end. I can show you that it's not the end.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and it's hard for me to listen to you with the gun in your hand. So at least give us the opportunity to hear you out and what's going on. It's hard for us to hear and listen to you with the gun in your hand. So if you would put that down, we'd be willing to listen to you, and you can always pick it back up. But at this point, for us to listen to you, we're gonna need you to put it down. Wait a minute,
Sir?
you asked me to put it down.
Yes.
There it is.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So-
Do you mind if I go?
I wish you would. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit right here
All right.
so we can talk.
Okay.
Now, you did 2 tours in Afghanistan.
I did one in Iraq and one in Afghanistan.
well, thank you for your service. Thank you for defending our country and going overseas. We need a lot more people who are willing to make those type of sacrifices.
Now, do you think that these issues are a product of your faith? Or is it just a product of life?
It is the end of my faith, with that one exception. My faith has been tested. And so, to me, my faith tells me I've got one solution. And that is, if I get you to shoot me, you're performing your job, you're not gonna get in trouble. And
But-
this is what I'm looking for.
But this is where the problem is. Our God is bigger than this job. And if you believe, then you believe that there's an opportunity for everything that's been in your past to stay in your past, and you to start fresh right here, right now. Forgiveness gives you a clean slate. He said to cast your cares into the sea of forgiveness. Cast them all. Cast them.
Here's the thought. I mean, y'all have been as kind as you can be. But if I pick up this gun and shoot you, are you gonna shoot me? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Or vice versa. I mean, if I pick this pistol up, I'm a good shot, I think I can get him, that paints you in a corner, and so what are you gonna do? You gonna do what I asked you to do, or are you gonna sit there and let me shoot you?
I will have to. But again, that hill that you say that you don't want to go to, you're giving yourself that same opportunity because you will have committed murder.
Okay.
Well, I didn't
Tell me, that's it. Y'all did well. This is a winnable scenario, and not everybody's gonna win this one. And so some people are gonna be a lot more aggressive. You spread out, you're talking with empathy and sympathy. Y'all sit down. I mean, this is it. That's the end of the scenario.
Okay.
Because what we want to do is we'll do a little bit of
Sit closer to
what
me.
did we do right? What did we do wrong? My FTOs in the back are like, and yeah, me too. Yeah, that was well done. Let me ask y'all a question. But this is here, bang, and it's gonna take you a minute to get that. What you need to do is, did Joe talk about a suicide? As soon as you saw this gun, for your own safety, you need to draw a gun. You don't need to aim it at me, but it's your protection. If I am a mental subject going through depressive or PTSD,
You know, I thought about that, because well, first thing I did was, when I saw you with the gun, I was like, well, I'm not gonna stand by him. If he gonna have to shoot, he gonna have to shoot this way and that way. So that's why I started making my way this way.
and that was excellent.
Right.
And I only sat on the corner because I wanted one of us to submit for a moment, to concede something to you, but he still maintained a position of strength. So,
You moved in and I stayed back.
I'll let them say that, I'll let them observe too, and Joe too. But my observation is, if you're dealing with somebody who has a weapon in his hand, then the best you can do is make it reasonably equal. And
Well,
so, I don't mean you don't have to go like this, but I'm saying, if you have it like this, in case I do decide, okay, you're not gonna cooperate, I'll shoot one of you, I'm gonna paint the other one in the corner.
Well, that was a challenge for me. Like when I came in and I saw you had your hand there, my first instinct was to go here, but I didn't want that to aggravate you or alarm you, considering that you very well are you've announced that you want us to kill you. But I was thinking that. That's why I'm glad you were talking, because my brain was.
So I got a question. I got a two-part question.
Sure.
As an officer, if you have spoken to the brother, and I know you're sitting in here with a firearm, are we allowed?
yeah, he didn't tell us that.
He didn't tell us.
Oh, I
asked
thought
him
you-
had he harmed
oh.
anybody before he came in.
Sometimes you don't get all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what Joe said.
Okay. So from what I was gathered, I was told. I thought you told them, but if you didn't, that's fine. So knowing he has a weapon, can you enter a room guns drawn?
Yes,
First of all.
yes. The answer, and what you could have done is, if you once you step in and saw it, there's nothing wrong with stepping back out and telling your partner.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and then drawing your weapon, you don't have to come in. And just come in and have it, what we call a low rating, and say, sir, can we talk to you just a minute? And see what happens, because once you started talking, think that was the de-escalation part of it, which I wish everybody did as well as y'all did.
Right. Yeah.
So that was excellent. But you were also vulnerable. I know you're not used to these holsters, but even if you were, kabow, and then now there's a loud bang and you're trying to get your holster out, and so we go in now, theoretically, possibly, we got 2 dead officers and I'm still alive, so then I go, well, now I've committed murder, so kapow. And y'all read about that. Usually when you have somebody who kills his wife and then kills himself, it's that instantaneous realization, I've crossed the line, I can't uncross.
Yeah.
But good, y'all was excellent though.
That was
Now the
Hey,
second.
Travis, I'm working on. What y'all
safety
think?
reasons, I probably would have talked to him from the door, behind some cover.
Okay.
Because you don't have anything protecting you in here. So I would have had my gun drawn, he might not have seen it, because I had it here, but I'm talking to him. And until I can get that gun away from him, I'm standing at that door, I don't want to get shot.
Now my second question is something I see on TV, and I know this is crazy, but what if one of the officers had taken a gun and sat it down and approached you? Is that something that's
I would have done that.
No, we're not trained to do anything like that.
okay? But you know what I'm talking about, like in the movie,
To be
yeah.
empathetic, but also to be prepared to defend ourselves.
Okay.
And protect others.
That's more of the movie type style.
When they say put your gun down and I will and all that, never.
Okay.
I mean, that's not the way we're trained. Somebody might do it, but that's not the way that we're trained.
Okay.
Just,
So what I think y'all did perfectly was you came in and you separated yourselves.
Yep.
It's very, very hard for somebody to shoot both of y'all at the exact same time. And what y'all did better than a lot of our deputies, you talked to him. You were able to identify what he was going through, the problems that he was facing in this moment, and you were able to talk him down. You were able to talk him to release the gun to release the opportunity and the ability that he had to use deadly threat on you. And so that's what Captain Pagano talked about, ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. That third one, the jeopardy, would have been him pointing the gun at you. And you could argue if it was reasonable, even if he already had the gun right beside his head, which is what he had when you walked through that door, he had it already up here.
Right.
It takes half a second to go from here to here. So
Let me ask you a question, because one of the things that we talked about was not only would they potentially cause harm to you, but others include themselves as well?
Yes.
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 And so that paints y'all in a little bit of a picture, say, uh-oh, now my partner's in jeopardy. But, the theological give and take was good. That was excellent. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're making somebody else think about, okay, what you say? We read the same Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And so how we interpret it could be different. But it was making somebody who intends to harm himself think.
Thank you.
So, and that's, but I was watching y'all. If I point this gun at you, are you going to shoot me? And the good news was some of the newer deputies will answer very, very quickly with a very quick answer. And the answer is, just like in courtroom testimony, you want people to think about their answer. And you did. That was excellent. So was it stressful for you?
Yeah.
And I looked
forgot
at
who-
it.
for a second there, I forgot we were playing.
Well, that's why these are blue. But yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of returning veterans who are losing home. Now you got virus. I mean, a variety of reasons they're going through a very, very difficult time. And so this is not an unusual call. And listen to the radio as we ride around. A 1082 is domestic. And while this virus is going around, people are staying at home.
Yep.
And they're getting into more arguments. And so I think y'all will say the number 1082 calls are skyrocketed. If you're going from one, like the highway patrol goes from collision to collision to collision. They rarely have time to run radar like we want them to do to slow people down. They're just too busy going to collisions. The deputies are going from one domestic disturbance to another, to another, to another. So, and this would be similar to that.
No, it was challenging. I applaud you because I really was at a loss for words when we came in. I was like, what?
So something to kind of see from that, and kind of to point on the thing that you said that you see in movies a lot is sometimes you'll see the officer who is identifying somebody who's suicidal to try to show empathy and disarm themselves. We don't do that. But what you could do is once you identify that he's the first person to speak with him, your primary job.
And that's what I did.
Yes,
I started thinking safety. I was like, all right, you gonna talk to him? I'm gonna get a better angle.
your
I'm
job,
gonna be
exactly.
prepared to respond.
And that's exactly what I saw you do.
Yeah.
Whenever he
Yeah.
went in front of you a little bit, you stepped off to the left, and you kind of triangulated a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was.
Now, what you were really thinking was, he's expendable, I'm gonna go over here.
Look, I was like, this is going the way I want to until you pointed at me and said, now if I shoot him, I was like, I'm getting closer.
All right, y'all got the next one to get to.